Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Marta and I am a 3rd grade English language arts teacher here in the Houston, Texas area. So welcome to Fun in Third. Thank you so much for watching. So today I received a message from one of my subscribers. So shout out. So shout out to subscriber beautiful Jalissa. Hi. Jalissa asked, she says, I'm so glad I found your page. I'm going to be a first-year 3rd grade teacher. Can you please advise me on items I absolutely need and what I can do now to prepare? So that is an excellent question. So I wanted to do a video based on her question. So shout out to Jalissa. Thank you so much for watching. So I wrote a list. So the first thing I want to talk about is preparing for the 3rd grade year. By the way, if it looks different in here, I'm not in my vehicle, I'm in my husband's car. So I am going to go ahead and do some driving because as a bonus, I am going to go to Dollar Tree and show you guys how to design on a dime during this episode. So that's going to come later. So let's talk about preparing. So before we even talk about decorations and all of that, the fun stuff, you have to remember that, you know, a cute classroom is not going to teach your students. And a cute classroom is not going to be in the principal's office with you if you have not met your data requirements. And that means showing growth within your students. So just remember, you know, data is always the other person in the room. And my principal was the first person that told me that, my first principal, my first year of school, and that has always stuck with me. So, you know, yes, my room may be cute, but when it boils down to it, what's going to be important is the growth of your students and ensuring that they are indeed learning. So you can have the cutest room in the world, but if you have A, no class management, or B, your students not learning, that's not gonna work, and you'll find yourself in lots and lots of meetings or being micromanaged, and that's not what you want. So let's talk about preparing first, and then we'll move on to the fun stuff, which is the decorating, because we all love to buy and decorate for our classrooms. I'm definitely guilty of that. So as far as preparing, the first thing is classroom management. That is the most important thing, because without classroom management, you cannot do anything. You can't do anything at all. If there are no systems and procedures in place for your classroom, then you're not going to be able to teach anything. So that is what you should be preparing foremost. That is the most important thing as a first-year teacher that you should be preparing. And there are all types of systems out there. You know, you just research and figure out how you want to do yours. There's Class Dojo. There is you know, you could do a monetary system. People do points, tickets. However, whatever way you choose to do your classroom management, you're going to have something in place as far as how you're going to, you know, encourage behavior. In addition to classroom management, you're also going to have systems and procedures. It should be a system and procedure for everything in your classroom, from how to line up in the morning to how to dismiss to the bus in the afternoon. A system for how to use the pencil sharpener, who's using the pencil sharpener, how to line up for lunch, how to, you know, and then it especially is going to be important with, you know, the pandemic coming on, because now, in addition to just regular in addition to just regular procedures, now we're gonna have to deal with things from, you know, social distancing from the pandemic. So that's even more. So you want to start thinking about those things now and figure out which system you're going to use in order to get your procedures and systems established. So that's not the first thing that you need to work on. Secondly, you need to look at how you're going to work with your small groups and also centers and stations. So whether you divide them up into 4 or 5 groups, however you're going to do that, you need to think about and design how you're going to do your rotations and your scheduling, how you're going to do your scheduling. Now, if you need help with that, there are a lot of YouTube videos on that already, but I may go ahead and put together one. If you think you need help with center design and station design, please let me know in the comments, and I will do an additional video on that as well. Because 3rd grade is a very, very important year, because I don't know about other states, but in the state of Texas, that is the first year that students will begin standardized testing. And so it is a very important year, because there's a big difference in the curriculum from the 2nd and 3rd grade. There are definitely those foundational things that they need, but the level of rigor definitely increases from between 2nd and 3rd grade. So if you're a 3rd grade teacher, it's gonna be, the pressure is gonna be on you, you know, to make sure that you are preparing those students for standardized testing, and that's just the reality of it. Let's see. The next thing that you could do to prepare is to make sure that you are studying, know what curriculum that you're using. Now, I know I recently just switched from math and science. I've taught math and science since my 1st year. This is going to be my 5th year of teaching, and I've always taught math and science. This is going to be the 1st year that I'm teaching English language arts. So that, I'm a little nervous, but at the same time, I know that I have a heart and passion for ELA. So one of the things that I'm already working on is I just had my first training in ELA, so I'm already diving in addition to my regular homework. You know, my other homework is making sure that I know the curriculum and the TEKS, because I'm already going to start working on lesson plans. So normally during the summer, I do the first 9 weeks of lesson plans, because trust me, when we do finally go back, those first 9 weeks are going to speed by. And what you don't want is to have to worry about lesson plans and all of that stuff. And your procedures and all of that stuff. You want to have that stuff good and ready to go from day 1 of school. So those are the first things that I will begin working on. Definitely classroom management definitely is important, because if you don't have that, there's no instruction can go on with classroom management. So definitely get your classroom management systems in place. Whatever you're gonna use, get it ready. So now let's talk about as far as things that you need as far as teacher and decor rise. 1st year teachers, you don't need much. Everybody likes to go on Pinterest and, you know, look at all the pretty classrooms. Well, you know, you can really do that with not much money, at least, you know. So here are some must-haves that these are things that I feel, and I am not a decoration expert, but you know, I do feel like I have the ability to be able to create a cohesive looking classroom. So these are some things that I suggest that you are to have for your 1st year. So number 1 is a Scotch laminator, and all of these things that I'm suggesting, I'm going to put down in the comments. I'm going to link them to Amazon. All of these things can be purchased right on Amazon, with the exception of the stuff from Dollar Tree, but we'll get to that in just a minute. So a Scotch laminator and laminating pouches. Now, it is so hard, especially during back to school time. Even if you go to like one of the teaching stores, the laminating machine is always the busiest thing. So it's easier, you know, for you, if you have posters and stuff, laminate the big stuff at the teacher supply or at your school. But your little things, invest in a laminator. They only cost about $20, and the pouches maybe another $20. But that's going to save you a lot of time. And you can also use your computer to design classroom decor for yourself and laminate it and cut it out. You don't have to have everybody, you know, wants to encourage you to have the expensive, the Cricut or the Silhouette. Those machines can kind of be costly. I didn't have that my first year. My first year, I used my laminator and a pair of scissors, and we all sat up and cut things out by hand. So if you don't have it, don't worry about that. You don't need it. Invest $20 in you a Scotch laminator and cut that stuff out yourself. The next thing I would suggest is get yourself an HP printer and INSTAINK enrollment, because it's going to be lots of things that you're going to want to print, and you want to print in color. You want your things to pop, and you want your back to school meet the teacher papers. That's another thing, and put that on your list too. Side note, you will also need a meet the teacher night letter, and you can find those on TPT. I'll also link the one that I designed in the comments. It's fully editable, so I'll link that in the comments. But you will need HP INSTAINK. And the reason why you need that is because you can print out as much as you need to. It's only $9.99 a month for 300 pages, and you can print, and it only costs you $10 instead of paying $20-30 a pop for cartridges, because cartridges are expensive and they run out quickly. So it's better for you to be enrolled in a program that's going to save you some money, and the printers aren't that expensive. I just went to Walmart and bought an HP printer for 42 bucks. So because I had one and it stopped feeding through for whatever reason, and I got mad and bought a Canon, but then I didn't have my INSTAINK program anymore. So you see, I have already switched back. So it's kind of worth the investment. I mean, if it stopped working, you only lost $40. Go buy another one and keep your INSTAINK so that you can be able to print. So that's my second recommendation. The next thing is, there are two types of teachers: FADELESS paper teachers and fabric teachers when it comes to bulletin boards. I prefer the FADELESS paper. Some people like fabric, but for whatever reason, I guess I just haven't mastered how to hang it. So I don't fool with it. I use bulletin board paper, but my suggestion for bulletin board paper would be the FADELESS paper. So you can get FADELESS at Lakeshore Learning. You can also get it at Michael's and Amazon. So I'll put a link to that below. Next thing, talking about FADELESS paper, you are going to need a Stanley light duty staple gun. And it's a yellow staple gun that looks like this. Let me see. Let me hold it up in my camera. And I'll put a picture of it above as well. But it is a Stanley light duty staple gun. You can get it from Amazon for about 12 bucks. Game changer. You don't want to be trying to hang bulletin boards up with that regular staple gun, trying to open it up. It's just horrible. But this staple gun will make your life so much easier. So make sure that you get one of those for sure. That's a definite must, regardless to whether you're using fabric or bulletin board paper. That's a definite must. Okay, let's see here. I'm trying to be careful because I'm driving. The last thing is, if you want to do some flexible seating options and you really don't have a lot of money, my first year I didn't do full flexible seating, and my classroom still turned out pretty nice. I did a lot of my purchases from my classroom. My first year came right from Dollar Tree. So if you want a couple of flexible seating options in your class and you don't have much money, go to Academy and buy yourself folding chairs in whatever color you're going to use as your theme or color scheme. So I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. And then the last thing that I think that you're going to need, check the Target dollar spot for decorative items, but just make sure that it's in your color scheme. And then your bins. Your bins are gonna be important because you're gonna need to have storage for manipulatives if you're teaching math or books, if you're teaching English language arts, if you decide to, you know, if you don't have bookshelves, or, you know, you're gonna have to have bins, definitely. And you can get all of the bins that you need from Dollar Tree, and also Dollar Tree has so much and different decorative items. So as a bonus on this video, I am actually headed to Dollar Tree right now so that I can show you how I can design a classroom with just items from Dollar Tree. So now, the only thing is, you still gonna have to get your bulletin board paper. I wouldn't get that from Dollar Tree. I would get my bulletin board paper. The FADELESS is gonna have to come from either Amazon, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, or Lakeshore Learning. But definitely, you need to invest in your bulletin board paper, and it costs maybe like $10 a roll. And depending on your class size, you might need 2 or 3 rolls, but you definitely have to invest in your bulletin board paper because you don't want to have to keep switching it out. I don't change my bulletin boards throughout the year. You know, some teachers, they do. I don't do that. Other things like that you'll need, like if you want to do calendars or birthday things like that, you can print that kind of stuff out. Go right to TPT, and you can find free resources in which to print all of that type of stuff out. That's why I say get a HP printer and enroll in INSTAINK, because you can print and then laminate it yourself. That's what I did my first year, and I'm gonna put a picture of my first year classroom. My first year classroom, people really thought that, you know, that I had been teaching longer than what I had, because of the way that I designed my classroom. But it's really all about how cohesive you make your classroom. That means just choosing a color scheme or a theme. Like if you have a theme, choose your color scheme and stick to it. So you can design your classroom on the computer. There's a way to do that, digitally design your classroom. I've already done mine. So in a separate video, I'm going to show you how you can go in and design your classroom using PowerPoint. So I'm going to do that in a separate video. So right now, I am on my way to Dollar Tree, and I've already completed buying the things that I'm gonna need for my classroom, but I'm gonna show you, I'm just gonna pick out some items and show you how you can kind of buy things to put, buy the bins to put with those items in order to, you know, make your classroom cohesive. So I'm just gonna go and let's check it out. So I'm gonna come back. I'm getting ready to exit the freeway, so I'm gonna come back when I actually make it to Dollar Tree. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I have made it to Dollar Tree. Here it is. So let's go in, just go to the teacher section, and keep in mind that you are buying your bulletin board paper from one of the other resources. You don't want background paper. They sometimes do have things that you can use for background paper in Dollar Tree, but you want to get good, invest in good bulletin board paper. So I recommend the FADELESS paper, and you can get that from Michael's for about $10 a roll. Another thing too that I want to say is you may not find everything at one Dollar Tree. So once you figure out your color scheme, you're probably gonna have to go to several Dollar Trees to get the bins and all of the border paper that you need, because one store is not gonna have enough for you. So be prepared to shop several Dollar Tree. You're gonna have to go Dollar Tree hopping so that you can get the things that you need. But that's fun. Let's go in, and we're gonna just start like we're starting from scratch. Let's go in here and see what they have and figure out a color scheme and pick out the items. And then once you pick out your items out of Dollar Tree and get your bins to match the items that you pick, then you can go and find your bulletin board paper. So do your shopping at Dollar Tree first, get the majority of your items out of Dollar Tree, and then you can get your bigger items after you got most of the items to match your color scheme. The most important thing when you're designing with limited funds, and just period, is to pick your color scheme or theme and stick to that. Now, like I said, I'm not an expert. This is just how I do it, and if it can help you, then good. So let's go in. Okay, so I have made it into Dollar Tree, and let's look at the things that they have. So this Dollar Tree looks like it doesn't really have too much, but let's say it's like that where you are. You're gonna have to work with what you have. So here we go. These are the items that they have. This is just how I do it. I always start off with my border paper. So right now they have several different kinds of border paper in here. Ooh, that's a pretty one. Look at that one. So you kind of have to decide what colors that you're going to go with. When my first year of teaching, the color that I seen in bins, the most plentiful bins that they had was in red. So that's kind of how I came up with my red and yellow color scheme, and then I designed everything around that. Whatever you choose one that is plentiful. I noticed that they have a lot of these, and so you can put blue or red with that. So I would buy as many of these as I possibly can. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I noticed that here in this particular store, they already have 5 packs. So you probably are going to need more than that, so you're gonna have to go to several stores. So let's just grab a couple of these and let's see what items we can find to match our selected color scheme. So here's my color scheme. I can put several colors with that. So let's see, hopefully the people at Dollar Tree don't get mad at me. I'll put everything back because I'm not gonna buy it. Let's go and look at the bin section to see what they have. I think that's the next thing to do before we choose anything else. Okay, so I don't know if this is all the bins that they have, but I'll start up here. And so I noticed that they have red, and they have blue ones. So you can kind of choose which way you want to go. Now, you know, I'm partial to red. Red is a very easy color to find in bins. So they have blue too, but with blues, the only thing that you have to watch is they have so many different shades of blue. With red, you kind of just have red. So I'm going to choose red for this. So here are the red bins. So I would definitely have red. Also throw blue in there if you wanted to, but I guess this is kind of how I would do it. So I would get my red bins. So let's go and see what else we can find. Okay, so now we have found our little color scheme. I've got some bins. I'm gonna check the store to make sure that they don't have any more in the back anywhere, but let's finish up in the teacher section. So I see that they have a red pocket chart. I'm gonna grab that. You definitely need pocket charts. I will grab a couple of more. You definitely need pocket charts. These are easy things that you can find. And look at this. Here are a pack of word stripes in red, and they probably have other colors in here as well. It looks like, I can't tell, I see purple, but you know the purple is not in your color scheme, so don't use those. Basically whatever you choose as your color scheme, stick with it. Okay, so now Dollar Tree has great letters. So now if you are going to incorporate blue into it with your red, then try to find some letters. You may have to check several Dollar Trees because these are numbers, not letters. You are looking for letters. So if you cannot find letters, oh, here are some. Bingo, there they go. So there's my letters. There's more letter. But you know, like I bought a couple of posters that's not within my color scheme. What I'm saying is you want the majority of your items to be part of your color scheme so that your classroom will be more cohesive. Another thing you have to think about is your content area, whether you're teaching English language arts or if you're teaching everything. So that's gonna be another thing you have to keep in mind. Definitely get as many packs of letters as you possibly can. So I'm not really seeing anything else. Of course, you're going to need items like scissors and a good stapler gun. So you go ahead and get those items as well. But I'm not really seeing anything else on this aisle. So I'm going to move and see what else we can find. Okay, so I have come to where they have the rest of their bins. And of course, you can, clear goes with everything. So if you need to incorporate some of these clear bins, also black goes with everything. So if you want to incorporate clear or black into your color scheme, like if you can't find certain things and you need more bins, then go ahead and pop in some clear and some black. Like in trash cans, I definitely suggest getting black if possible. Here are some more, so I would grab a couple of these and definitely some of these. And so them out. But Dollar Tree has so many things that you can use to organize your classroom. They have the black ones. Now, the only thing that I don't like about these caddies is that they have the holes. So if you can spend a little bit more, go to Target Dollar Spot and get your caddies, because the holes, when you put crayons and pencils, sometimes those things come out. But if you look in our basket is already pretty full with items in all different types of bins. While you're in Dollar Tree, don't forget to check the vinyl area because they have really cute decorative items. So let's look at these. So this one says Cultivate Love and Light, which is really cute if you are using kind of blue. I actually, if I was decorating according to my color scheme, I would choose this one. It says Dare to Be Different. So that is really nice. And like I said, this Dollar Tree doesn't have much, so of course you definitely will have to visit several different stores. Okay, so here are some cute black bins. They have some other type of bins that are more like this, but they are longer, that I prefer to use for organizing your teacher desk. What I will tell you is to be purposeful in your buying. Don't just go out and buy 20 or 30 bins. Kind of know what you're going to use them for. Now, I will say at least get you 5 to 6 bins to use for decor purposes, because just the look of bins in your classroom makes it to look a little bit more homey and comfy. So you can use those for decorative purposes as well. So, but just know what you're going to use them for, whether you're going to use them for math manipulatives or if you're going to use them for books. Bins make your room look really pretty. Just look at Pinterest and you can see. So, but they still, even though you're getting them for $1, they still add up. So kind of know what you're going to need before you go and spend a whole bunch of money on it. So here is another desk organizer tray. Ooh, that's a little dusty. That's kind of fresh one. Here is another desk organizer tray. Now, what I will say about this one is pretty good, but it's a little on the flimsy side. If I had to choose, I would probably go with this one because it's thicker. But either one will work. Okay, so let's look at what we have. Along with red bins. And I have 3 different style of bins, well 4 different style of bins. And I have some letters. I have some pocket charts, word strips. The only other thing that I would say that you would need to add to this would be some type of bin for paper collection. Okay, so this is the type of bin that I would use. This is what I use in my classroom for turn-in trays. But if you can't find the exact black, this could work. Or they do have red ones, but you're gonna have to go to different Dollar Trees until you can find them. So let's look again at the items that we have here. Now that we have our bins and we have a few decorative items, the major thing is your bins. I would suggest the next thing that you do is to find a background bulletin paper that goes along with the items that you choose from Dollar Tree. So look at this one. This is a very pretty paper. It's foil, and this one is gift wrap, but it is right in Dollar Tree. Now I wouldn't use this as my main background paper, but you can kind of use this to accent, as the accent on your bulletin board, because you're gonna need to break up whatever color you get as your main bin color. You need to break it up, so don't get the same color bulletin board paper. Try and find a different color for your background bulletin board paper that still matches your color scheme. So another thing that you're gonna need is some really good construction paper, and I would suggest the Paycon brand, and I will put that in the top above so that you can see. You can get that at Michael's or Lakeshore Learning, but you want to get what in your color scheme, get some Paycon construction paper so that you can use that for hanging up student work. Also, you are going to need a glue gun and some glue sticks, because you're going to use your, while you're at Dollar Tree, pick you up some wooden clothespins, because you can use those to, what you do is take your construction paper and laminate it, and then you glue one of these on it, and then you can use that to hang up student work and put that on your bulletin board. Dollar Tree has different bases, different flowers. You can also create yourself a nice floral arrangement for your desk. The possibilities are endless. So you saw the sheer amount of things that I was able to put in my basket for $1. All of the different bins really bring out your classroom. So that is gonna be the major thing. Like I said, you're gonna have to Dollar Tree hop, because different ones have different things. And so the major thing is find a color scheme and stick to it. If I was to put a bulletin board background, I would find some type of pretty foil type pattern, and I haven't been in Lakeshore Learning, so I don't really know what kind of bulletin board paper that they have. But basically, once you find your bulletin board border and your bins, then get whatever kind of pocket charts that they have available, because they sell those and they work really well. Just because they're $1 don't mean that they don't work. Get all of the items that you could possibly get out of Dollar Tree, and then go buy your bulletin board paper to go with the items that you have selected, and that will help you to have a more cohesive classroom. After that, after you've gotten your bins and letters, your bulletin board letters, and then after you've gotten your bulletin board paper, then you can go into TPT and start downloading things like your calendar, your and printing those things out and laminating them with your laminator. Also, another place to check too is the Target dollar spot. And I really wish that they had the teacher stuff out now, because I would go over there and show you other things that you can put with things that you get from Dollar Tree. But that's gonna be the other place that you're gonna check, the Target dollar spot, because they also have calendars that's already printed for teachers. They have planners in the dollar spot. They have stickers, all of these things that you can get on a budget. So you definitely do not have to spend a lot of money to have yourself a really, really nice classroom. I was able to, my first year, I got so many different things from Dollar Tree, and I printed out many of the things that I needed myself on my computer. So, and my classroom was still nice. So definitely don't put the focus on your decor. You know, you may have to spend, you may have to spend $100 or $150 on your decor, but if you know, to be honest with you, decorating your classroom can go into the thousands. But as a first year teacher, I definitely would not worry about that, because like I said, data is always the other person in the room, and I would think that your principal would prefer somebody that is going to get results and growth within their students over a person with a beautiful classroom who cannot help your students to learn. That's all I'm saying. So you can definitely check Dollar Tree and Target dollar spot for your decor, and you can get everything you need to decorate your room from them two stores, and along with your laminator and your printer. If you got your laminator and your printer and a computer that works, you can create the most beautiful things, and then go to Dollar Tree and Target dollar spot for the rest. So hopefully those suggestions, I probably said some of the things repeatedly, but hopefully those suggestions kind of help you. Like I said, I am not a design expert, nor do I want to be, but those are just some of the things that helped me during my first year. So if you have any questions about anything else, definitely put it in the comments. If I can create a video about it, I most definitely will. But we have a little bit more time until it's really time for us to get back into the classroom. So definitely send your comments and questions, and I'll do the best I can to answer them. So until the next time, thank you guys for coming to Dollar Tree with me again to design on a dime. Until the next time, please consider liking and subscribing this video so that you won't miss any of my other upcoming videos. So until the next time, bye.